Hello everybody, this is Namwans, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Now I just got Fallout 4 on the PC with all DLCs, and I've only had the game for about a week or so. Right now I'm playing with no mods because I wanted my first playthrough as vanilla, so that way later on I know what to mod and how I want to mod it. Right now my character is only level 1. She will be a max damage Black Widow build with 10 strength, 9 agility, and 6 luck. And the only perk I've taken so far is 1 point in Idiot Savant at level 2 as my first point. I've actually saved up all my other perks. And I'm actually level 16 just from building my base. Now I haven't actually done any quests yet. I actually haven't even explored any of the map yet. So everything you see here is a level 1 no mods build. Now I did use some console commands. I gave myself 5k building materials, and I increased my building size limit 4 times from 1 million triangles to 4 million triangles. Now the design theme I wanted to go for was a mechanic's garage. A realistic lived-in mechanic's garage. And to do that, I put in a lot of hard restrictions on my build, which I wanted to only build on the stock foundation. I didn't want to build out, and I didn't want to build up, because every time I did, it looked less and less like the Red Rocket, and I wanted to keep it as original as possible. And that stock roofline is so iconic, I wanted to keep that. So I try to keep it as clean as possible with no exposed wiring on the outside where someone could cut my main power. No clipping or minimal clipping. It is now Garage 111 because that's the address of this place, 111. And that's why my jumpsuit is now my work suit, my denim work suit, and I have 2 brand new ones for me and my son Sean. I built this warehouse where I'll be storing my future cars. It is double pane glass with steel bars between the glass and steel bars on top between the glass. We have another roll-up door here for the warehouse so I can push my cars in there. This yellow car will be going in there, and the only cars I'll be storing in my warehouse are fully intact cars with all the doors. And if I find a red one, it'll be replaced. I try to build with red theme. All my doors inside are red. And this car with the missing door, it'll go in the back for the junkyard. My junkyard will be fenced off with the junk fence. I just don't have access to it yet, because I'm still technically only level 1. That's why I only have basic machine gun turrets for light defense. You can see through my back hallway. Now all these guardrails I tried to keep, everything I tried to keep, I tried to delete as little as possible. Now this glass bubble here, it's actually fully intact, so all I would have to do is bolt it back up and it's good to go. The whole back courtyard is now fully enclosed with glass and steel. I have my power room in there with a bunch of small generators. I really want to put a fusion generator in there, but I only have one intelligence, so yeah, it's going to take a while. My vending stuff in there, we'll get to that later. Let's head on inside. My front door is powered by this switch. It also powers the front porch light, and the door is an automatic closing door. Now if I want to lock somebody out, I turn off the gate, and now the power to the outside is off. No one can come inside. But if I want to go out, I just step on that switch. Now this is my living room. Now I had to move the Eat-O-Matic to this corner and the shelf that was here out of the way so I can have a clear hallway all the way down. I have my living room area right there. Kind of small, but I'm limited in space. The living room light is powered by this switch as well as the TV. Now the warehouse is powered by this switch. And all the lights come on, one at a time. And on the far wall here, this switch also activates the TV, but the dining room light is powered by this switch as well. So if you're in the living room and you want to go to the dining room, you use this switch. Here's the garage, which I refloored with all this rubber mat all the way around. And it's also powered by its own switch. Now replace all these fluorescent lights all the way around, because all the broken ones, they're all fixed and brand new. I put the workbench on this side of the room because the makeshift forge here, the exhaust port, I wanted to exhaust out the garage door with a fire extinguisher here just in case of fire. And I put a couple burnt magazines and newspapers in the fire bin. I moved the weapons workbench to this corner because I wanted to have the armor weapon workbench on the same side of the room. So I had to move this table from that corner, and I lost the radio that was on it in the process. But all this stock asset is still there. I put in a Nuka-Cola clock. It is a neon Nuka-Cola clock. And the chem station was moved inside. Now this garage door, I'm gonna be putting my power armor closet in here. Space for 2 sets of power armor, one for me and Sean. This build is only designed for me and Sean. This switch activates the garage door roll-up door, and it has its own lights, plus it activates the garage neon sign, Garage 111. Let's head into the dining room area. Now I put this filing cabinet here to divide the living room and the dining room area, and that came with Red Rocket. I had to move the coffee stand or the coffee pot over to make room for this switch. And this switch only activates the dining room light and not the TV or anything else. Every room is on their own switch. They power their own lights. And if you want to come into the dining room area from your bedroom area, you use that switch. Now I put in this wall here because I built Sean his own bedroom area with his own light switch, of course. He's got the cash register there. It's built around the stock counter. Unfortunately, I had to clip through that giddy-up poster to put in this dividing wall, but at least he still gets the sugar bomb poster. I put in this new wall here, or let's talk about this. This counter is stock, but this cabinet, I had to actually move it over and line it up center. So that's all I did with this room. In here is the bathroom. And I put the toilet on this side because you don't want to open the door and see somebody on the toilet on this side. So that's why the toilet is on that side. And the tub is on this side. I put a shelf under the stock tool rack for your soaps and stuff. And I also put in this shower head. The bathroom is only lit up by a single simple bulb. You don't need something fancy in the bathroom. And here is my main bedroom. Now if you notice, this door opens up into the room like how a correctly designed indoor should work. If you try to snap a door to this door frame, it actually opens outward. So I had to fix that with the rug. Here's my bed put to the corner. And this switch activates the bedroom light. There's still a little bit of bleed through from the stock lighting that comes through, but that's alright. My bobblehead stand is behind the door. This desk fan I took from the garage and moved it in here. The telephone was from the counter and I moved it in here. And that radio that I lost from the garage, I replaced it with this one. I put a newspaper on there for reading when I'm in here. And the magazine rack is in here for reading with my Grobnog magazine. I still have the stock fridge in here. I don't know where I'm gonna put the stove yet for a kitchen. It's really tight and cramped in here. It almost feels like a Japanese apartment. Actually, a Japanese apartment would actually be smaller than this. Out back we have Dog Meat's house on the back outside hallway. I plan to light this up sometime. Now I put the mesh walls here so that way I can see the stock brick because there's this nice graffiti that I want to keep intact. There's the back of my power room. Now up here on the back patio, I will have it set up for a smoking and grilling area. I have my cigarette machine under the stair there. And my cooking or grilling rack out here. I don't have the fire here yet. Here I put my siren because I didn't want to put it on the roof, and I wanted to preserve the stock roof line, so I didn't want anything to stick out too far except for that. And I put a catwalk back here so I have access to the rear turret if in case I need to repair it or something. Now I put rails all the way around, double rails, wall rails, and floor rails. I also have a catwalk across the front. Now up on the roof I put in this beautiful wood flooring. This will be for my rooftop garden. I have space for 4 plots, 1 in each square. And if you notice, I staggered every floorboard to give that custom look. But if you notice, these railings are different, and that is because I put in all these light trees with green lights. You'll see what that does later on. On the other side of my deck, I have this water pump, and that water pump is to pump water for my rooftop garden. And I actually have it plumbed in with conduit into the top of my pump. And that conduit actually pumps from my pump room. And let's go take a look at that. That took a long time to line up perfectly. It was very difficult. Down here we have the vending area. I have the 2 vending machines and my trash bin and my ice bin under the stairs. Now this floor switch is just a placeholder. I want to put a tripwire there so when I step off, the lights don't turn off. Now I put a secret in here. If you move the milk machine, I have my secret safe built into the floor. I'll probably put all my unique weapons and items that I don't use in there because I am a melee build. Now into the power room, it is a restricted area and there's no smoking allowed. You can see how noisy it is in here. This is the main switch for the whole base. I put in 14 of these small generators because they're the most space efficient. And if you notice, I wired them up like this ladder daisy chain because you don't want a single point of failure in your power system. If I strung them up in series and one line broke, a whole series of generators will fail, and that won't happen when I wire it like this. There's actually 4 points of failure connected to my main switch. And my pumps are also wired for redundancy. I put in this hand pump over here in case there's a fire and your power goes out and your pumps go out and you have no way to put out the fire. You can always hand pump it and put out the fire. Now let's see, let's turn this back on. Because in the back I have the main master terminal. I do plan on putting another terminal in my bedroom, but this terminal gets uninterrupted power, and it's also wired with redundancy so it won't fail. Under the stairs, this will be my fuel storage closet. I'll put my fuel cans and another fire extinguisher in there just in case, and it's on a powered door just in case anybody climbs over that wall, they can't get into my power room. I have that little conduit pumped main power to the roof, and my water pump to the roof is right there, and it's actually connected to that spigot to the top of that pump. You just imagine how difficult that was to get in. Let's head up to the missile silo. Oh yeah, I have a tire iron because I am a melee build and I am a mechanic. Tire iron's my weapon of choice right now. Now, for the missile silo, I got the inspiration for building a working rocket from High Vis Harry, and I'll link his video in my description. But on his video, he built a spiraling scaffold around his rocket. I just put in a 4-story elevator and a launch pad next to mine. It is wired up to go. I have flamethrowers under here to light it off. I have extra lights under the boosters to give it that extra lighting effect. You'll see that later. Let's head to the 3rd floor first. Now I didn't put any glass doors on this side because it was blocking my call buttons, and I didn't want to have to reach out and call while standing with no platform here, so I just left them out. These platforms are fully supported except for the bottom, because I didn't want to bolt it to the bottom because this is designed as a swing out platform. At the top of the rocket is where you arm the rocket. Right now it's just armed with a single switch, but I do plan on redoing this with the launch code with logic gates. And I want to try to balance a Fat Man mini nuke up here, or rug one in, so this will be an armed rocket, and not just one mini nuke, but I want to put one on each point of the rocket, so it'll be a 5 nuke rocket. Because who wants one mini nuke when you can just use a regular gun to launch one mini nuke? And once it's all armed, you come down, and this is the launch button. This launch button will be replaced in the future with the 2-man launch button. So I will need Sean to launch this plus myself. And I want to do that because I don't want Sean to be launching my rocket by himself at night when I'm sleeping. Let's go and head out to the warehouse now. Here's the warehouse. Look at that. Delayed lights. Looks beautiful. Now, the design for my whole build started with this floor plan. And I got this floor plan from Cordless 7 on his Red Rocket 2.0 build. But I changed up the design a little bit. He has 4 full boards, concrete boards all the way across, and I have only 3 with half boards ringed around the outside. And I did that because I wanted a full board down the center without a crease. The stock pumps are still here. I had to build around it. If I would have taken these stock pumps out, I could put in another full board there. And I actually did that on one of my play tries. So this is fully concreted. It's possible to fully concrete it, and that was all thanks to Cordless. And I'll link his video in my description as well. And here's all my delay switches for the lights. If you look, I have a glass roof all the way around. And this took a lot of trial and error to figure out that yes, you can put in a glass roof all the way around. Well, not all the way around. I'll show you where there's a break in the roof, which is right here. I can't put any roof or anything there. Now when I want to open my car museum to the public, I turn on this switch. And that powers my roll-up door for the warehouse. Now if you notice, my roll-up doors, the roll-ups are on the inside, like how a proper garage door should be built, with the switches on the inside. Bethesda messed that up. And I put a concrete pad out here for easy access for cars. Now let's go over here for a second, because I have this cone set up. I have this cone set up so I can take screenshots of the whole base lit up in one frame. And let's turn it to nighttime so you guys can get the full effect of nighttime lighting. Alright, let's take a look. Wow, look at that. Look at all that. That lighting really brings this place alive. Now this stock pole I relit and rewired. It is still the stock pole. Now if you notice, the stock light pole intersects with the new pole. Make it look like it's actually wired, and the new line to the house actually intersects with the old line from the power pole. So my base is actually getting live power. Here's my open sign. Now here's my Roke Auto Museum sign. And I'll get to why I renamed it the Roke in a little bit. Put in a little traffic stoplight there. Both these billboards are now lit up. And I put in a big pylon there, so I have enough room to reach all the way to my base to power it. Both sides are powered, both signs. If you look up top all the way around, I strung up red lights under the panels to give it that neon glow feel, and it looks just spectacular. I made sure that you can't see any bulbs. even from extreme angles unless you're looking at it from directly on. Look, okay, now you see one bulb, and that is basically straight on. There are some couple missing panels and couple panels that are loose, so they're not lit. Also, the panels that they have overgrown weeds aren't lit. The rear sign isn't lit because it's too damaged to really light up. I haven't put any lights in the back yet. I do plan on putting spotlights and heavy turrets connected to the main siren. And here is the main sign. That is why this is the Roke garage. Because if you played Fallout 3 New Vegas, there's a city called, or a settlement called Novak. And it's called Novak because their no vacancy sign has a couple missing letters, and that's what I kind of did here, kept in the spirit. Let's turn this off and actually look at the sign. Look how beautiful that turned out. I front lit it with spotlights along the rail and backlit it with those green Christmas trees. With the red lights under there, it really pops out. It looks really spectacular. And if you notice, the coolant pricing sign is also lit up on both sides. And how I did that, I actually got spotlights to stick underneath that shines to the other side, so I put 2 on each side. And I actually had to flip this sign around because there was 2 tabs here that were facing the street, and I flipped them around and put connection points up there so I can wire it up to my house, and also wired up to this lamppost. This lamppost is also the stock lamppost, but now it's got a new light. Unfortunately, I couldn't line that new line up to the old line because the down pipe right there was clipping in the way and it wouldn't turn green for me, so that was the best spot I can put it. But this this light post is also wired to this power pole, and I was pleasantly surprised when I figured out I can stick a connection point up on the top of that power pole. And if you notice, there's a couple of down lines right here, and if you try to go inspect these down power lines, we'll see that these power lines are actually powered and live. Yeah, I put in Tesla arc on the bottom of the power lines and the top of the power lines. And you actually have enough room up there to put a powered turret. There's actually just enough spacing in your building zone up top of there to put a turret, which I was amazingly surprised at figuring that out. All right, I think we're ready to set this rocket off. Let's go power it up and fire it off. All right, first it needs power, so we need to turn on the siren, warn everybody that it is coming active. We need to head to the top of the rocket to arm it. Later it'll be a launch code arming system up here. Head back down to the bottom to the launch button which you will need a 2-man launch later on. Okay, I'm gonna save it, quick save it right here because I want to fire this rocket off 3 times for you guys and not have to reset it every time. Okay, the first firing, we're gonna do an up close firing. The second firing, we're gonna do a firing from down below with all the lights on. And the third firing, we're just gonna fire the rocket itself with no lights on. Okay, let's fire this baby up. Wow. Just look at that. That looks spectacular. Okay, let's reset this and fire it off from the bottom, from the ground. Okay, let's fire it off. Wow, just look at that glow. I put in some white lights just under the boosters to give it that white hot glow. You can see it now, it's still on, like it's still firing. But let's fire it again with all the lights off and just the rocket. Okay, first let's go turn off all the lights by turning off the museum. Notice all the lights are off. Let's go turn off the porch light as well. Actually, we gotta go inside to actually fire this thing. So let's go inside. And let's turn the warehouse lights off. Run up to the launch pad. Okay guys, at this moment I'd like to have you guys put your right hand over your heart. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Well guys, that is my first look tour of the Roke garage. Now if you like this build, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to follow this character, I do plan on playing this character as a survival character. A melee survival character as my first playthrough, so you know how challenging that's going to be. And I did that because I played all the Bethesda games, and the further I got along, the more overpowered my character got. So I want to have a no crafting melee character on survival mode. So if you want to follow that, please subscribe. Now if you have any questions of how I built this or how I wired it up, leave a comment and I'll get back to you guys. And thanks for watching my first ever YouTube video. I'll see you guys on the next one.